There is something about this moment in your life that you were not expecting. You clicked on this video maybe out of curiosity, maybe because something inside you just felt pulled toward it. And that pull is not random. The universe does not deal in accidents, especially not for your sign. There is a lesson headed your way, Libra, and it is one of those rare lessons that does not just teach you something. It turns into a blessing. Not the kind of blessing that falls from the sky while you sit still, but the kind that rises up from the ground you have been walking on, the ground you thought was ordinary, the ground you almost gave up on. Most people hear the word lesson and they flinch. They think of pain. They think of loss. They think of being corrected by life in a way that leaves bruises. But this is different. What is coming for you right now is the kind of lesson that reshapes your entire perspective. And once your perspective shifts, everything around you begins to shift too. Your relationships, your confidence, your energy, even the way strangers respond to you. It all starts to move in a new direction. And the beautiful part is that this lesson is not going to crush you. It is going to lift you. But only if you stay long enough to hear it fully. So stay with me here. Every single section of this video carries a piece of the message you need. And by the end, you will understand exactly why this moment matters more than you realize right now. Tip 1. Stop trying to keep everyone comfortable at your own expense. Libra, you have spent a lifetime learning how to smooth things over. You know how to read a room before anyone else even notices the tension. You know how to adjust your tone, soften your words, shift your body language, all to make the people around you feel at ease. And there is beauty in that. There really is. Not everyone can do what you do. Not everyone has the emotional intelligence to sense when someone is uncomfortable, and then quietly, gently, redirect the energy of the entire space. That is a rare gift, and you should never feel ashamed of it. But here is where the lesson begins. Because that gift has been costing you something, and you have been paying that cost for so long that you might not even recognize it anymore. Every time you hold back what you really feel because you are afraid it will upset someone, you lose a little piece of yourself. Every time you say yes when your whole body is screaming no, you send a message to your own soul that says your comfort does not matter as much as theirs. And over time, that message builds up. It stacks. It layers. Until one day you wake up and you feel tired in a way that sleep cannot fix. You feel disconnected from yourself. Like you are living someone else's version of your life instead of your own. This is not about becoming cold. This is not about shutting people out or turning your back on the ones you love. That would go against everything you are. But there is a space between being kind and being self-sacrificing, and you have been living on the wrong side of that line for too long. The lesson here is about balance, and nobody should understand balance better than you, Libra. It is literally woven into your sign. But understanding balance intellectually and living it daily are two very different things. You can know that you need rest and still push through exhaustion because someone else needs your help. You can know that a relationship is draining you and still stay because you do not want to cause pain. You can know that your voice matters and still stay quiet because the thought of conflict makes your stomach turn. What is coming for you now is a shift in that pattern. The universe is about to put you in a situation where you will have to choose yourself. Not because the other person is bad, not because the situation is toxic, but simply because your soul is asking for space. And when that moment comes, you are going to feel guilty. That guilt is going to rise up in your chest like a wave, and it is going to try to pull you back into the old pattern. But if you can breathe through it, if you can sit with that discomfort for just a little while longer than you normally would, something remarkable is going to happen. You are going to feel free. Not free in a dramatic fireworks in the sky kind of way, but free in a quiet, steady, deep in your bones kind of way. The kind of freedom that lets you take a full breath for the first time in months. The kind that makes you look in the mirror and actually recognize the person staring back at you. That is the blessing hiding inside this lesson. You do not have to abandon your kindness to reclaim yourself. You just have to stop offering it at the expense of your own peace. Tip 2. The right people will not make you audition for their love. You have done this more times than you can count. You meet someone, whether it is a friend, a partner, a colleague, and something clicks. There is a connection. There is warmth. And then slowly, almost without noticing, you start performing. You start adjusting who you are to match what you think they want. You laugh a little louder at their jokes. You hold back your opinions when they disagree. You become a slightly polished, slightly filtered version of yourself. Not because you are fake, but because you are afraid. Afraid that the real you, the full you, the unedited you, might be too much. or not enough, or just different enough to make them pull away. Libra, this is one of the most important things you will ever hear, so let it land deeply. The right people in your life will never ask you to shrink. They will never make you feel like you need to earn their affection by being less of who you are. The right people will not keep you guessing about where you stand. They will not leave you lying awake at night wondering if you said the wrong thing, or if you should have been quieter or funnier or more agreeable. The right people will feel like rest, not like a performance. And the fact that you have been performing for so long tells me something about the kind of connections you have been pouring your energy into. Not all of them, no. Some of the people in your life truly see you and truly love what they see. But there are others, and you know exactly who they are, who have made you feel like their love comes with conditions. Like there is an invisible contract that says you can stay close as long as you do not disrupt the dynamic, as long as you keep giving, as long as you never ask for too much in return. This lesson is about recognizing those contracts and tearing them up, not with anger, not with confrontation, but with a quiet, firm decision that says you are no longer willing to audition for a role you should have been offered freely. When you stop performing, two things happen. First, some people will leave, and that is going to hurt. There is no way around that. When someone you care about walks away because you stopped bending yourself into a shape that fits their comfort, it stings. But here is what you need to understand. Their leaving is not proof that you are unworthy. Their leaving is proof that the connection was built on a version of you that was never real. And you cannot build a lasting relationship on a foundation that does not exist. The second thing that happens is even more powerful. The people who stay, they become closer. The connections that survive your authenticity become stronger, deeper, more nourishing than anything you have ever experienced. Because for the first time, you are being loved for who you actually are. Not for the role you play, not for the comfort you provide, not for the way you make someone else feel about themselves, but for you. Just you. That is the blessing, Libra. That is what waits on the other side of letting go of the performance. Real love, real friendship, real connection. The kind that does not require you to be anything other than exactly what you are. If what you're hearing feels accurate, imagine what could happen if you applied this energy intentionally for 21 consecutive days. That's exactly what the 21-day program in the pinned comment is built for. Daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you're tired of staying in the same cycle, this is your structure. Tip 3: indecision is a decision to stay where you are. You know this one already, Libra, but knowing it and feeling it are two completely different things. You have always been someone who sees every side of every situation. You can argue for something and against it with equal conviction. You can hold two opposing truths in your mind and genuinely believe both of them at the same time. And in many ways, that is a beautiful quality. It makes you fair. It makes you thoughtful. It makes you the kind of person others come to when they need perspective because you can see the whole picture when most people can only see their corner of it. But there is a shadow side to that gift, and you have been living in it. When you can see all the options clearly, choosing one feels like a betrayal of the others. When you can understand every perspective, committing to a single path feels reckless. So you wait, you weigh, you analyze, you make lists mental or otherwise. You talk to people, gather opinions, seek validation for a choice you are too afraid to make on your own. And while you are doing all of that, time is passing, life is moving, opportunities are opening and closing. And you are standing still, not because you lack intelligence or courage, but because the act of choosing feels like it carries a risk you are not willing to take. Here is the lesson that is trying to reach you right now. Every moment you spend in indecision is a moment you spend choosing the status quo. Not choosing is still a choice. It is a choice to stay exactly where you are. And if where you are feels comfortable and good and aligned with who you are becoming, then maybe that is fine. But if where you are feels stale, if it feels like you are outgrowing your own life, if it feels like there is something better waiting for you on the other side of a decision you keep putting off, then your indecision is not protecting you. It is trapping you. The universe is not asking you to be reckless. It is not asking you to throw caution to the wind and leap without looking. That is not your style and it never will be. But it is asking you to trust yourself more than you currently do. It is asking you to believe that you are capable of making a good decision even without perfect information. It is asking you to accept that some choices will lead to mistakes, and that those mistakes will not destroy you. They will teach you. They will refine you. They will give you the experience you need to make the next choice with more clarity and more confidence. Think about a decision you have been sitting on. You know the one that keeps circling back into your thoughts at odd moments. The one that whispers to you when you are trying to fall asleep. The one that makes your stomach flutter with a mix of excitement and fear. That decision is not going to make itself. And the longer you wait, the more energy you spend on the waiting instead of the doing. Imagine what your life could look like if you took all the energy you currently spend deliberating and redirected it into action. Not perfect action. Not flawless guaranteed action. Just movement. One step. One choice. One commitment. That is all it takes to break the cycle of indecision. And once you break it, you will wonder why you waited so long. The blessing hidden inside this lesson is momentum. Once you start moving, life starts moving with you. Doors open, people appear, paths reveal themselves. But none of that can happen while you are standing still trying to calculate the perfect moment. The perfect moment is the one where you finally decide. Tip 4. Your peace is not selfish, it is sacred. There is a lie that has been planted deep inside your mind, Libra, and it has been growing there for years, maybe even decades. The lie says that your peace does not matter as much as your productivity, your availability, your usefulness to others. The lie says that resting is lazy, that saying no is selfish, that taking time for yourself is something you have to earn by first making sure everyone else is taken care of. And you have believed this lie for so long that it feels like truth. Feels like just the way things are. But it is not truth, and right now the universe is asking you to see through it. Your peace is not a luxury. It is not something you get to have only after everything else is handled. Your peace is the foundation on which everything else is built. When you are at peace, your decisions are clearer. Your relationships are healthier. Your creativity flows more freely. Your body heals more efficiently. Your mind processes information with more accuracy. Everything in your life works better when you are grounded in a state of inner calm. And everything in your life suffers when you are running on empty, stretched thin, pouring from a cup that has been dry for weeks. So why do you keep putting it last? Why do you keep treating your well-being like it is optional? The answer, if you are honest with yourself, is guilt. You feel guilty when you rest because somewhere along the way, someone taught you that your value is tied to what you produce, what you give, what you do for others. And that voice is loud. It is relentless. It follows you into every quiet moment and whispers that you should be doing more, helping more, being more. But that voice is not wisdom. It is fear. It is the fear of being seen as insufficient, the fear of being left behind, the fear of discovering that without your constant output, people might not need you anymore. Let me tell you something that might sting a little, but you need to hear it. If someone only values you for what you do for them, that is not love. That is use. And you deserve more than that. You deserve relationships where your presence is valued, even when you are not performing. You deserve a life where rest is not something you have to justify. You deserve mornings where you wake up and the first thought is not about what you owe someone but about what brings you joy. This lesson is calling you to make your peace a priority, not after everything else is done, but before anything else begins. Start your mornings with silence instead of scrolling. End your days with reflection instead of worry. When someone asks you to take on something new and your body tightens with resistance, listen to that resistance instead of overriding it. It is not weakness talking. It is wisdom. Your body knows when you are stretched too thin before your mind admits it. Trust your body. Trust the tension in your shoulders, the heaviness in your chest, the exhaustion that lingers no matter how much you sleep. These are signals, and they are telling you that something needs to change. The blessing in this lesson is rest that actually restores you. Not the kind of rest where you collapse on the couch and stare at a screen while your mind still races. Real rest. Deep rest. The kind that lets you wake up feeling like yourself again. Tip 5. Not every battle is yours to fight. Libra, you have a deep sense of justice. When you see something unfair, it bothers you in a way that goes beyond frustration. It sits in your spirit like a stone. You feel it in your body. You carry it in your mind. And your first instinct is to fix it, to step in, to balance the scales, to make things right. And sometimes that instinct serves you well. Sometimes you are exactly the person who needs to speak up, to intervene, to hold space for what is fair and true and just. But not every time. And that distinction is the lesson you need right now. There are battles happening around you that are not yours to fight. There are conflicts between people you love where your involvement will not bring resolution. It will bring you into the crossfire. There are situations at work, in your community, in your extended circle where the injustice is real but your role is not to fix it. Your role is to observe, to support from a distance, to offer wisdom when asked and then step back. Because when you throw yourself into every fight that crosses your path, you drain the energy you need for the fights that actually belong to you. Think about the last few weeks. How many times have you taken on someone else's problem as if it were your own? How many hours have you spent worrying about a situation you cannot control? How many conversations have you had where you were doing all the emotional heavy lifting for someone who was not doing the same for you? That pattern is not sustainable, and it is not noble. It is a habit that disguises exhaustion as purpose, and it needs to shift. This does not mean you stop caring. Caring is part of who you are, and you should never apologize for that. But there is a difference between caring and caring. You can care about someone deeply without carrying their burden on your back. You can acknowledge that a situation is unfair without making it your personal mission to fix it. You can hold space for someone's pain without absorbing it into your own body. These are boundaries, not walls. They do not keep people out. They keep you intact. The universe is showing you right now that the battles you are meant to fight will come to you naturally. They will not require you to go searching for them. They will not require you to insert yourself into situations where you were not invited. They will show up at your doorstep, clear and unmistakable. And when they do, you will have the energy, the clarity, and the strength to engage fully. But only if you stop wasting those resources on fights that were never yours to begin with. Here is what I want you to try. The next time you feel that familiar pull, that urge to step in and fix something, pause. Take a breath. Ask yourself one simple question. Is this mine? Not is this important, not is this unfair, not does this bother me. Just, is this mine? If the answer is yes, step forward with everything you have. If the answer is no, step back with grace. Let someone else carry it. Let the situation resolve itself. Let the people involved find their own way. Your stepping back is not abandonment. It is trust. Trust in the process, trust in the people, and trust in your own right to conserve your energy for what truly matters. The blessing in this lesson is the discovery that you can be a good person without being everyone's savior. You can have a strong moral compass without running yourself into the ground trying to redirect everyone else's path. Tip 6. Forgiveness is not about them. It is about freeing yourself. There is something you are holding on to, Libra. Something that happened weeks ago, months ago, maybe even years ago. Someone hurt you. Someone broke your trust. Someone treated you in a way that still stings when you think about it, even now, even after all this time. And you have been carrying that hurt like a heavy stone in your pocket, always aware of its weight, always reaching down to feel its edges, always reminding yourself of how sharp it was when it first cut you. You think that holding on to it keeps you safe. You think that if you forgive, you are saying what they did was acceptable. You think that letting go means they win. But none of that is true. Forgiveness is not a gift you give to the person who hurt you. It is a gift you give to yourself. It is the decision to stop letting someone else's actions control your emotional state. It is the choice to put down the stone, not because it no longer matters, but because your hands are tired of holding it. When you forgive, you are not saying the hurt was not real. You are not saying you were not affected. You are not saying you would let it happen again. You are simply saying that you refuse to let this moment define the rest of your story. Libra, your sign craves harmony. You are wired for balance, for beauty, for peace. And yet you have been living with this dissonance inside you, this unresolved chord that keeps ringing every time something triggers the memory, every time you see that person's name, every time you drive past that place, every time a song comes on that reminds you of that chapter. The dissonance is exhausting, and it is coloring everything else in your life. It makes you more guarded than you need to be. It makes you hesitate before trusting again. It makes you build walls where doors should be. The lesson here is not about pretending the hurt did not happen. The lesson is about deciding what you want to carry into your future. Do you want to walk forward with that stone in your pocket, letting its weight slow you down and bend your spine? Or do you want to set it down by the side of the road and walk lighter than you have in years? The choice is yours, and it is not easy. Forgiveness never is. It is not a one-time event. It is a practice. You will have to choose it again and again, some days more than once. But each time you choose it, the stone gets a little lighter. Each time you choose it, you reclaim a piece of yourself that was trapped in that old story. And here is something beautiful that happens when you finally let go. Space opens up. Emotional space, mental space, energetic space. Space that was being occupied by resentment and pain suddenly becomes available for joy, for love, for new experiences. You start noticing things you had been too burdened to see. The way sunlight comes through your window in the morning. The sound of laughter from someone you care about. The smell of something cooking that reminds you of a happy time. These small moments were always there, but you could not receive them because your hands were full. Forgiveness empties your hands so that life can fill them with something better. That is the blessing, Libra. Not the absence of the wound, but the freedom that comes from no longer letting the wound define your steps. Tip 7. Your intuition has been trying to tell you something. You are someone who thinks deeply, Libra. You analyze, you weigh options, you consider every angle before making a move. And as I mentioned earlier, that thoughtful approach serves you well in many areas of life. But there is another voice inside you that does not think in logic or analysis. It speaks in feelings, in hunches, in that quiet knowing that rises up from somewhere you cannot name. That voice is your intuition, and lately it has been trying to get your attention. You have been ignoring it. Not on purpose, maybe, but consistently. Every time a thought crosses your mind that does not make logical sense, you dismiss it. Every time your gut tells you something feels off about a person or a situation, you override it with reasoning. You tell yourself you are being paranoid or dramatic or unfair. You talk yourself out of what you feel because you cannot explain why you feel it. And so you push forward with decisions that look right on paper but feel wrong in your bones. And then later, sometimes much later, you realize your intuition was right all along. This pattern has cost you. It has cost you time spent in situations you knew you should have left sooner. It has cost you energy poured into relationships you sensed were not right from the beginning. It has cost you opportunities missed because something inside you said yes, but your logical mind said wait. Your intuition is not random noise. It is not anxiety wearing a costume. It is a form of intelligence that processes information faster and more holistically than your conscious mind can. It picks up on patterns you cannot see, signals you cannot articulate, truths that have not yet fully formed into thoughts. The lesson the universe is offering you right now is to start trusting that voice. Not blindly, not recklessly, but with the same respect you give to your analytical mind. When your gut speaks, listen. When something feels off, honor that feeling instead of rationalizing it away. When you have a sudden urge to reach out to someone to avoid a certain path, to change your plans for no clear reason, follow it. See what happens. Start treating your intuition as a partner rather than an inconvenience. Here is a practice that might help. The next time you face a decision, before you make your lists and weigh your options, sit quietly for a moment. Close your eyes. Take a few breaths. And then ask yourself, what do I already know? Not what do I think, not what makes sense, not what would other people advise. Just, what do I know? The answer that rises up, the one that comes before thought, before analysis, before doubt. That is your intuition. That is the signal buried under all the noise. You do not have to act on it immediately, but write it down. Track it. Start building a record of what your intuition tells you and what actually happens. Over time, you will see a pattern that will astound you. You will see that this quiet voice has been accurate far more often than you gave it credit for. And once you see that, trusting it becomes easier. The blessing inside this lesson is the discovery that you already have the answers you have been searching for. They were never outside of you. They were never in someone else's advice or in the perfect book or in the right course. They have been inside you all along, waiting patiently for you to stop drowning them out with overthinking and start listening to the wisdom your soul already holds. Tip 8. The season of settling is over. Libra, listen to me carefully right now because this might be the most important thing you hear today. You have been settling. You know it. Deep down, beneath the justifications and the rationalizations and the carefully constructed arguments for why things are fine the way they are. You know that you have been accepting less than you deserve. Less in love, less in work, less in friendship, less in the way you treat yourself and the standards you set for your own life. And the reasons you have been settling are understandable. You settle because the thought of demanding more feels uncomfortable. You settle because the last time you asked for what you truly wanted, you were made to feel like you were being unreasonable. You settle because maintaining peace, even a fragile, unsatisfying peace, feels safer than risking upheaval in pursuit of something better. But the season of settling is over. The universe is closing that chapter for you whether you are ready or not. You are going to start feeling a restlessness that you cannot explain, a growing dissatisfaction with things that used to be good enough. That job that pays the bills but drains your spirit is going to start feeling unbearable. That relationship where you do most of the giving and very little of the receiving is going to start chafing in ways it did not before. That habit of putting yourself last is going to become physically uncomfortable, like wearing shoes that are 2 sizes too small. These feelings are not signs that something is wrong with you. They are signs that you are outgrowing the container you have been living in. Growth is not always dramatic. Sometimes it is quiet and gradual, like a plant that one day is suddenly too big for its pot. You do not notice it happening until you realize the roots are cramped, the soil is depleted, and no amount of watering is going to sustain the life that wants to emerge. That is where you are right now, Libra. You have outgrown your pot, and the discomfort you are feeling is not a problem to be solved. It is a signal to be followed. The lesson here is about raising your standards, not from a place of arrogance or entitlement, but from a place of self-respect. You are allowed to want more. You are allowed to expect more. You are allowed to walk away from situations that no longer serve your growth, even if they are familiar, even if they are comfortable, even if leaving means stepping into the unknown. The unknown is not as scary as staying stuck. The unknown is full of possibility. It is full of potential. It is full of versions of your life that you cannot even imagine from where you are standing right now. Here is what raising your standards looks like in practice. It looks like having an honest conversation with someone about what you need instead of silently hoping they figure it out. It looks like updating your expectations for how you are treated, not based on what you have been willing to accept in the past, but based on what you actually deserve. It looks like making decisions from the version of yourself you are becoming, not the version you used to be. The old you settled, the new you does not. The old you kept quiet, the new you speaks. The old you waited to be chosen, the new you chooses yourself. That shift is the blessing, and it is already underway. You just need to stop resisting it. Some people watch, others transform. If you want to be in the second group, the 21-day guide in the pinned comment gives you a clear step-by-step process aligned with your sign. This isn't about waiting, it's about moving. Tip 9. What you resist persists, what you accept transforms. There is a situation in your life right now that you have been fighting against. You have been pushing against it, wishing it away, trying to think your way around it, hoping that if you just ignore it long enough, it will dissolve on its own. But it has not dissolved. It has grown. It has become louder, more present, more impossible to avoid. And every time you resist it, every time you clench your fists and grit your teeth and refuse to accept that this is part of your reality, you give it more power over you. Not less. More. This is one of the most counterintuitive truths about life. And it is especially hard for you, Libra, because your entire being is oriented toward creating harmony. When something disrupts your harmony, your instinct is to restore balance by removing the disruption. But some disruptions cannot be removed. Some challenges are not problems to be solved. They are experiences to be moved through. And the only way to move through them is to stop fighting and start accepting. Acceptance does not mean approval. This is a distinction that most people miss, and it is one that you need to understand deeply. Accepting something does not mean you like it. It does not mean you wanted it. It does not mean you are giving up on the possibility of change. Acceptance simply means acknowledging what is, without wasting energy wishing it were different. It means looking at your current reality clearly, without the distortion of denial or the fog of wishful thinking, and saying, "This is where I am. This is what I am dealing with. And now I can start working with it instead of against it." When you stop resisting and start accepting, something shifts inside you. The tension in your body loosens. The racing of your mind slows. The constant low-level anxiety that has been humming in the background of your days begins to quiet. Because resistance takes energy. Enormous energy. You do not realize how much of your life force you are pouring into fighting against things you cannot change until you finally stop fighting and feel the flood of energy that comes rushing back to you. Think about water flowing down a hillside. When it meets a rock, it does not stop. It does not throw itself against the rock over and over, trying to destroy it. Flows around it. It finds the path of least resistance, and in doing so, it continues on its journey. That is what acceptance looks like. It is not giving up. It is finding the flow. It is working with life instead of against it. It is trusting that the path will reveal itself once you stop trying to force it into the shape you think it should be. There is something specific in your life that this message is about. You might already know what it is. That situation you have been losing sleep over. That conversation you have been dreading. That truth you have been avoiding because it means things will have to change. Whatever it is, the universe is asking you to stop running from it and turn around and face it. Not with aggression, not with fear, but with the calm, steady courage that comes from knowing you can handle whatever comes next. Because you can, Libra. You have handled everything that has come before this, and you will handle this too. The blessing in this lesson is the peace that comes from surrender. Not the surrender of defeat, but the surrender of trust. The surrender that says, I do not need to control every outcome to be safe. I do not need to know every answer to move forward. I just need to be present, to be honest, and to be willing to flow with wherever this current is taking me. That kind of surrender is not weakness. It is the deepest form of strength. Tip 10. The person you are becoming requires a new version of your daily life. Everything you do every day is building something. Your habits, your routines, your rituals, the way you spend your mornings, the way you wind down at night, the conversations you have, the content you consume, the thoughts you entertain. All of it is constructing the person you are becoming. And right now, Libra, the person you are becoming does not match the life you are currently living. There is a gap between who you feel yourself growing into and the daily patterns that are shaping your reality. And that gap is the source of so much of the frustration and restlessness you have been feeling. You cannot become a new person while living the same old life. You cannot evolve while clinging to routines that were designed for a version of you that no longer exists. And yet that is exactly what many people try to do. They want transformation without change. They want growth without discomfort. They want a new destination while walking the same road they have always walked. It does not work that way. It has never worked that way. The lesson here is about alignment. The person you are becoming needs different inputs than the person you used to be. She needs different fuel, different rhythms, different environments, different conversations. If you are still waking up and immediately reaching for your device, scrolling through information that drains your energy before the day has even begun, that pattern belongs to the old you. If you are still saying yes to social commitments that leave you feeling hollow instead of filled, that pattern belongs to the old you. If you are still eating in ways that leave you sluggish, sleeping in ways that leave you unrest, spending in ways that keep you anxious, those patterns belong to the old you. And the old you is trying to leave. Let her go. Start small. You do not have to overhaul your entire life in a single day. That is not how lasting change works. Pick one thing, one habit, one routine, one daily choice that does not align with the person you want to be, and change it. Just that one thing. And do it consistently, not perfectly, but consistently, for long enough that it becomes part of who you are. Then pick another thing, and another. And slowly, steadily, your daily life will begin to match your inner growth. The gap will close, the frustration will ease, and you will wake up one morning and realize that the life you are living finally feels like yours. Here is what that looks like practically. If the person you are becoming values her health, start moving your body in some way anyway that feels good to you. If the person you are becoming values her creativity, carve out even 10 minutes a day to create something, anything, without judgment. If the person you are becoming values her peace, start saying no to one thing each week that disrupts it. These are not grand gestures. They are quiet, consistent shifts that accumulate over time into a life that looks and feels completely different from the one you are living now. The blessing in this lesson is the realization that you have more power over your life than you think. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are not trapped by your past. You are not stuck in a loop you cannot escape. Every single day you make choices. And every single choice is either moving you toward the person you are becoming or pulling you back to the person you used to be. Once you start making those choices consciously, deliberately, with intention and awareness, your transformation will accelerate in ways that will amaze you. The life you want is not far away. It is one decision at a time, one day at a time, one conscious choice at a time. And it begins today. Tip 11. You were never meant to walk this path alone, but you must choose your companions wisely. Libra, you are a sign that thrives in connection. You come alive in the presence of others. You are energized by conversation, by collaboration, by the shared experience of walking through life alongside people who understand you. And there is nothing wrong with that. In fact, it is one of your greatest strengths. But there is a difference between needing connection and needing approval, and somewhere along the way those two things got tangled up inside you. You have kept people in your life because you were afraid of being alone. You have maintained friendships that drained you because the thought of having fewer friends felt like a failure. You have stayed in relationships past their expiration date because the empty space they would leave behind seemed scarier than the slow, quiet erosion they were causing in your spirit. And all of that has brought you to a moment of reckoning. The universe is asking you to look at the people in your inner circle and honestly assess whether they are helping you grow or keeping you stuck. This is not about cutting people off with cruelty or making dramatic exits from relationships. That is not your way, and it does not need to be. This is about gentle, honest evaluation. When you spend time with this person, do you feel energized or depleted? When you share your dreams with them, do they encourage you or diminish you? When you are going through a difficult time, do they show up or disappear? When you succeed, do they celebrate with you or compete with you? These questions are not judgments. They are diagnostics. They help you understand where your energy is going and whether the return is worth the investment. The truth is that your circle is about to shift. Whether you initiate it or life does it for you, some people are going to move to the periphery and new people are going to step into closer orbit. This is not a punishment. It is a natural evolution. As you grow and change, the people who resonate with the new frequency you are putting out will naturally be drawn to you, and the people who resonated with the old frequency will naturally drift away. Your job is not to force this process or to fight it. Your job is to let it happen with grace. And here is the part that might feel uncomfortable. You need to get better at being alone, not lonely alone. There is a vast difference. Loneliness is a wound. Aloneness is a practice. When you learn to enjoy your own company, when you stop filling every quiet moment with noise and every empty space with people, something shifts in the quality of your connections. You stop choosing people out of desperation and start choosing them out of desire. You stop tolerating treatment that diminishes you because the alternative, being alone, no longer terrifies you. You start entering relationships from a place of wholeness rather than a place of lack, and that changes everything. The blessing in this lesson is the discovery that the right people are already on their way to you. Some of them are closer than you think, but they cannot find you if you are surrounded by people who are blocking the way. Make space. Create room. Trust that the connections meant for this next chapter of your life will arrive right on time, and that when they do, they will feel different from anything you have experienced before. They will feel easy. They will feel honest. They will feel like home. Tip 12. The blessing is already here. You just have not recognized it yet. And now we arrive at the heart of everything, Libra, the lesson that ties all the others together. The truth that has been woven through every word of this video, waiting for you to see it clearly. The blessing is already here. It is not coming. It is not on its way. It is not waiting around some future corner for you to arrive at the right moment. It is here, right now, in this breath, in this day, in this very moment that you are living. You have been so focused on what is missing, on what has not yet arrived, on what still needs to change, that you have missed the extraordinary beauty of what already exists in your life. Not because you are ungrateful. You are one of the most appreciative signs in the entire wheel. But because you have been conditioned to believe that the good stuff is always ahead, always in the future, always just out of reach. And that belief keeps you in a perpetual state of waiting, always looking forward, never fully landing in the present. But the present is where your power lives. The present is where joy happens. The present is the only place where you can actually experience the blessings that have already been placed in your path. That friend who checks on you without being asked. That is a blessing. That moment of quiet in the morning before the world wakes up. That is a blessing. That skill you have, the one you dismiss as ordinary because it comes so naturally to you. That is a blessing. That breath you just took, the one you did not have to think about, the one your body performed without your permission. That is a blessing so fundamental that you have forgotten to marvel at it. The lesson the universe has been building toward through every section of this message is this. You do not need to wait for your life to become worthy of gratitude. It already is. You do not need to reach a certain milestone before you allow yourself to feel fulfilled. Fulfillment is available to you right now, in the midst of the mess, in the middle of the uncertainty, in the space between where you are and where you want to be. That space is not empty. It is full of small, quiet, easily overlooked blessings that are trying to get your attention. And here is the part that changes everything. When you start recognizing and receiving the blessings that are already present, more blessings flow toward you. Not because of some magical law of the universe, although many would argue exactly that, but because your perception shifts. When you train your eyes to see abundance, you find it everywhere. When you train your heart to receive goodness, it shows up in forms you never expected. When you stop chasing and start receiving, the chase ends. Not because you gave up, but because what you were chasing was never actually running from you. It was standing right beside you, waiting for you to turn your head and notice. Libra, this is your moment. Not a future moment. Not a someday when everything is perfect moment. This one. The messy, imperfect, still in progress moment you are living right now. The lesson is clear. Stop waiting. Stop delaying your own happiness. Stop postponing your joy until conditions are ideal. Conditions will never be ideal. That is not how life works. Life gives you the raw materials and asks you to build something beautiful with them, and the raw materials you have right now are more than enough. Everything you have heard today has been building toward this single realization. The lesson and the blessing were never separate. They were always the same thing. Every challenge you have faced, every heartbreak you have survived, every moment of doubt and fear and uncertainty, those were the lessons. And the strength, the wisdom, the depth, the compassion that grew from them, those are the blessings. You cannot have one without the other. And once you truly understand that, once it moves from your mind into your heart, you will never look at your life the same way again. So as you move forward from this moment, carry this with you. The next time life hands you something difficult, look for the blessing hiding inside it. The next time you feel tested, remember that the test is preparing you for something greater. The next time you feel alone, remember that solitude is often the soil where the most beautiful things grow. And the next time you feel like giving up, remember that the breakthrough is always closest when the pressure is greatest. You have two options after this video: close it and hope things shift, or decide that the next 21 days will be different. If you choose the second, the structured 21-day transformation aligned with your sign is waiting in the pinned comment. The energy is already moving, the only question is whether you are.